Hi, and welcome to the Snarky in the Suburbs podcast. Y'all, we're starting strong with the Dear Snarky letter. That's just heinous. I mean, it's bad. It's so bad, I couldn't share it on TikTok because they'd bounce me out. Yeah, it's that bad. Then in the Peeve, y'all. Y'all, I'm going to call it death threats, but I don't mean it in the way you think I mean it. I just mean like when people play like, I'm going to die soon card. Stop it. Stop it. Then in the observations / random thoughts, I have a Trader Joe's story to tell you. And also another thing that really gives me the icks, and it's a fancy Thanksgiving. I don't like it, people. I don't like it. And the confession from the Snarky Confessional. It's the tale of when I have hid from my family for the holidays, using work as an excuse. Okay, let's get to it. This letter is something else. So this bridesmaid, or shall I say former bridesmaid, writes me, and she had something really bad happen to her. So here's the deal. She has been best friends with the bride since they were in grade school together. And it's the rehearsal dinner and everyone's giving toast, and the bride decides that she's going to give a toast to all her bridesmaids, and she's basing it on something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. Sounds great. She's gonna like connect it. But the bride was trying to be really funny, or so what she thought was funny. Y'all, some people just aren't funny. You can't force funny. And if you think something's funny and you're going to do a toast, you need to run it by a couple people, not just your spouse or something, just a couple people. So the bridesmaid, like they had been friends since like elementary school. They were friends through high school. Then they went to different colleges, but they still stayed friends. When she was invited to be in the wedding, she was like, oh, that's really nice. They weren't super close, but I guess she, since I've known her probably longer than anyone else besides her family, she's invited me to be bridesmaid. So she starts out on the toast. Bridesmaid says it starts out fine. And the bridesmaid wrote me what the bride said. And I'm going to read this to you, so prepared to be shocked. Ready? Emily, that's the name of the bridesmaid. You're my something old. We've been friends since the 3rd grade, and we stayed friends even all through high school, even though you started dating my soon-to-be husband, even though you knew I really liked him. I saw this as the ultimate betrayal. I'm going to be honest and say it was hard not to hate you, especially when you both got crowned prom king and queen. But I never gave up hope that this man sitting next to me would be mine someday, no matter how hard you tried to make him yours. So, no hard feelings. And I hope you don't regret losing your virginity in high school to a man that would never be yours. And I'm also glad that the 2 pregnancy scares you had were just scares, because I never wanted to be a stepmother. No. So, Emily, the bridesmaid, said that she was just like flabbergasted. I mean, stunned, shocked. She said she wasn't even crying. She was just like, she's like comatose, basically, just sitting there. And everyone at the rehearsal dinner, quiet. You could hear like, a breadcrumb drop. It's quiet. She said, even like the waiters, the people serving, like stopped. They were just like, oh my God, oh my God. She stayed through the dinner. She said it was almost over. They'd gotten to toast. She leaves. But people came up to her. Like as soon as it was over, she's walking out. People are coming up to her and going, oh my God, that was horrible. I'm so sorry that happened to you. My favorite part of the story may be that the mother of the groom made a beeline for her and said, I am just apologizing in advance that this happened. And I don't know what she's apologizing in advance about because it already happened. But she said, my son didn't deserve that. I love that you dated my son. You were a great girlfriend. I respect you. This is just absolutely horrible. Then she looks at Emily and she says, if I were you, I wouldn't come to this wedding. She goes, I would not want to be a part of this wedding. And then the mother of the groom says, I don't want to be a part of this wedding. So mother of the groom just letting all that out. So Emily goes to her parents' house. She doesn't live in the town, but staying with her parents. She tells her parents what happened. And she says, I'm not going to the wedding. And her parents go, nor should you go to the wedding. I mean, how can you stand up there when someone's spoken to you like that? And wedding rolls around. Our Emily is a no-show. Not only is she a no-show, but her parents do not go to the wedding or reception. And then at last count, she said about 16 people didn't attend. And she says it was mainly people at the rehearsal dinner that were just like horrified by what the bride did. Then, a couple weeks later, the bride reaches out to her and says, I can't believe you did that. It was funny. Everyone loved it. Played your overreacting card. And tells her, I'm getting a lot of letters like this, people. A lot of letters when like people are billing each other when it comes to a wedding. That she owes the bride for the dinner because she didn't show up. Her parents need to pay for their dinners since they didn't show up. And says, and this was all in a text. And she says, I'm going to send you a Venmo and I expect you to be paid. Oh my God, the cojones and just certain level of insanity on the bride. And then the bride enlists, I don't know, her evil troop of, losers to come after her, Emily, and like, I can't believe you did that and you better pay and blah, blah, blah. So she wants to know what her response should be. This was my advice, and I cannot wait to hear what your advice is going to be. My advice is I would tell her to F all the way off, to never speak to you again, and you have nothing else to say to her because she is not deserving of your time, and that she can wait till hell freezes over to get a dime from you. That's what I would say. And then, I don't know, people are going to go, don't do that. Sherry, that's horrible advice, but I'm going to tell you to do it anyways. Then, since you used to date the groom, I'm sure you have his mother's contact information, I'd send it to the mother of the groom. Your final act of defiance would be just to throw the mother of the groom something she can pot stir with. That's what I would do. But y'all, this has bothered me for days. The bride wasn't trying to be funny. None of us are falling for that. She has harbored a serious, disgusting grudge for her friend that dated this guy in high school. I mean, whatever. I mean, how can you be that invested in holding a grudge? You did him in high school, but I finally got him. And Emily said she lives far away. She has her own life. She's not corresponding with this guy. They're not even social media friends. She's like, I don't know where this came from. And I'm going to tell you it came from a mental illness. I'm just going to say that right there. But that is absolutely horrible. And like I said, I can't stop thinking about how horrible that is, how anybody would think that would be funny, or how she could know that she was being cruel, but was going to play the funny card and make it seem like it was okay. But the most important thing I don't understand, maybe not the most important, why would you want to do that in front of a group of people and put that that big cloud of ugh on your wedding? I'm going to guarantee you no one was talking about her dress, the bride's dress. No one was talking about how great the reception was. This spread through the wedding like wildfire. And that was the topic of discussion, not the wedding at all. And when people will look back and think about this wedding, they're going to think about what she said to the bridesmaid. It is absolutely horrible. So I want to know what you think. I have never heard a letter like this before. I'm going to predict that marriage does not make it to the 5-year mark. I'm not going to blame the new mother-in-law, the mother of the groom. I'm just going to tell you that's concerning. And I'm disappointed. The groom should have said something. He should have apologized for his bride. I don't know. Should he have? I don't know. But I want to know how you would have handled that. I can't believe she didn't say something during it. I guess it would have made it worse. But she was able to maintain her composure and walk out of there with her head held high. And kudos for her. I mean, bravo for that. But, oh my gosh. This is absolutely horrible. And I don't know what to make of it. But I do want to know what you make of my advice. So let me know. Y'all, what's going on in the wedding industry? Why are people going crazy over getting married and all this nonsense? I don't get it at all. When my daughter gets married, granted she's not engaged, but she does have a serious boyfriend. I will be reporting from the front lines for you of the whole wedding planning, whole wedding thing. And let you know. I mean, is it just the way it is because of what I like to call big bridal, the wedding industry gone crazy? Do brides go crazy? I doubt it. I can't see my daughter going crazy over a wedding. I'm sorry. I can see her being very knowing what she wants and being direct about that, but I can't see her going crazy. I hope I don't eat those words, people. She better not go crazy. She was raised better, people. Raised better. But anyways, I'll let you know. But that was very concerning to me. I did not like it at all. So there's that. Prepared to be like, it's going to stay. I read it, and that's going to stay in your mind. Because for someone to do this, and those of you listening, I'm holding up the letter. Those are the sounds we hear. That's the letter. You have to have some mentally, some mental health issues. I'm going to leave it at that. And it sounds like you would not be a joy to be married to. That's all I'm saying. But I don't know. Maybe the groom and the bride deserve each other because the groom probably should have shut his bride down. At least a tap, during the rehearsal dinner, no, stop. All right. Enough about that. I am moving on to my peeve, which I have called death threats. Y'all, I get this all the time in Dear Snarky letters, and I'm sick of it. This is a go-to comment where people say, when I told people, especially about the holidays, you don't have to spend holidays with your family. You can draw boundaries about what you will, the treatment you will tolerate from your family, all that kind of stuff. You know what? As how broken clocks right twice a day. Okay, that doesn't make sense. That was not the analogy I was looking for. So I'm just going to say, as sure as the sun's going to come up tomorrow, you're going to get comments from people saying, you never know when the last Thanksgiving will be. You never know whose last Thanksgiving this will be. You have to go. Y'all, I am so over that. I had a relative cough on my husband's side of the family. Have you noticed I throw his side of the family under the bus more than mine? What can I say? That's just how it's playing out. Anyway, that they'd always say that. There'd be some family issue, and their trump card that they would play is, well, you never know how many Thanksgivings I have left, or you never know how long I'll be here. To get their own way, like a spoiled child having a tantrum, they're playing you never know how long I'll be here. This woman at one time was saying this, and she was in her 50s. I'm guessing you're going to be here a while. So it might be too early to be playing that card. I mean, it is, stop saying it if you're saying it, unless you're 100. Because it's horrible, and everyone knows what you're doing, and it's just it is such a manipulation technique. It's so lame, and it shouldn't work. It should not work. So we all need to stop that. And this holiday season, if you have a relative that says that, I would shut it down. I would 100% shut it down. And if they say, well, you never know how long I'm going to be here, we have to do it. They want to do it their way. So they're going to pull, you never know how long I'm going to be here card and just say, well, I hope it's a very long time, but we're going to do it this way. I mean, push back. I don't like it. I've heard it a lot in my own life, and people, that's their go-to comment about setting boundaries and not allowing yourself to be treated like crap by your family is to put well, you need to go no matter what's happening because you never know whose last Thanksgiving it's going to be. Stop. Just stop. And then I want to talk about, moving on to my observation. I'm moving on from death threats. It's too dark. We had that horrible letter, and now this. Okay, moving on. Okay, my observation are fancy Thanksgivings. People have been just already on Instagram and stuff showing their Thanksgiving tablescapes, which is all freaking gourds, and it takes up the whole table. And I've ranted about this before, but let's circle back. Where's the food? You would have to remove that whole tablescape to even have a small bowl of mashed potatoes on the table. I know some families do it buffet style, but still, who wants all those gourds and those dusty leaves? I mean, the very least, before the dinner, I hope you dust all that stuff, but ew, no. But y'all, I have been in my day to a few fancy Thanksgivings, and they were the worst. I'm not talking about, what's your Thanksgiving, Sherry's? Paper plates and plastic cutlery. Oh, it is not madams and sirs and mademoiselles. Absolutely not. I'm talking the Thanksgivings where it's not food focused. It's like all like the crap on the table focus, not the gourds. It's like you got 10 things of stemware, you got like a shrimp fork and then another fish fork and all that stuff. And I'm telling you, the fancier the Thanksgiving, the less yummy the food is, because the basic Thanksgiving food is not fancy. Let's review. Turkey, it's not fancy. Your sour cream rolls, not fancy. Your mac and cheese, not fancy. Your stuffing, not fancy. Your corn casserole, not fancy. Your sweet potato casserole with the mini marshmallows, not fancy. The best food is not fancy. And I've been to a couple Thanksgivings where it's some weird bird. It's not even a turkey. And it's got a bunch of fish. Who's a bunch of fish at Thanksgiving? I know some people do, but I'm like, the whole time I'm like, where is my sweet potato casserole with the mini marshmallows? Okay? And like, that yummy, yummy mashed potatoes, and please pass the gravy. I don't get it. That's my observation / peeve. It just I don't get it. Now, if that's how you're raised, I'm sure that's your Thanksgiving. That's fine. But for me, no. Don't like it. Don't get it. And what I also don't understand is why mess with a classic? You have the classic Thanksgiving food. Do you think you're I don't know, shrimp mousse or whatever with some other fish in there is going to be better than a sweet potato casserole with mini marshmallows? Sorry, I'm stuck on that. Now I really want it. I can't stop thinking about it. No, it's not. It's not. When you veer from the classics, you're not going to, it's not going to hit the same. It's going to be okay, I swear to you, I would eat it. I would tolerate it. I was a delightful guest. And then we'd have to have, I just forget it. I didn't make a turkey, but the next day I'm making mashed potatoes, I'm making sweet potatoes, I'm doing all that stuff. Also with the fancy Thanksgiving, they want you to bring nothing. Well, of course, because it's their gross food, like their salmon mousse. I went to this one, they had a shrimp mousse and a salmon mousse. I'm like, I just don't get all the fish. And instead of turkey, it was some duck. And then they go, oh, this was originally what the pilgrims, had. I'm like, maybe. Doesn't mean I want to eat it. I don't know. I don't know. It just, it irks me. It irritates me. And I'm old enough now. Well, I will not attend a fancy Thanksgiving. I want the classics. And the classic food, the classic Thanksgiving food can still be presented beautifully. And you can have your crystal and your silver and all that, which I use. And I'll tell you why, mainly because I got it as wedding presents. And I feel guilty if I don't haul all that stuff out. And it does make a beautiful table. Oh, and I have some really cute turkey plates that I love to get out. But yeah, that's a peeve. Now, on to an observation. Y'all, so I went to Trader Joe's this morning, literally walked the dog, had my pajama top on, but I had a jacket over it. And I go, I'm just going to run into Trader Joe's before it gets crazy. Sorry, it was already crazy. Hold on, I have to take a sip of Diet Coke. It was already nuts. I have, of course, no makeup on. Who puts makeup on to walk the dog? But I had not washed my face that day. I'd brushed my teeth. I'd yanked my hair back. I'd walked the dog. And then I'm like, I got to get my morning DC, my morning Diet Coke from McDonald's. And then I'm going to Trader Joe's. I kind of thought I might have peanut butter on my face. So this lovely woman comes up to me. First, she's kind of looking at me. And I'm sure she's like, is that the woman that does snarky stuff? Because she looks hideous. So I'm not sure it's her. I mean, she was like, could it be? Could it be? And she goes, are you? I go, yes, Snarky in the Suburbs. And she goes, yeah. So then we started talking. She was a delightful person. I have never met a person who partakes of my content. That is not I swear to God, immediately thought, oh my God, we could be fast friends. This has never happened. Anybody that I talk to in person, in the wild, I'm just like, oh my God, we could be such good friends. Anyways, she was a delight. And she was telling me that she had a family member get married, but she goes, oh, it went off without a hitch. And so I love to hear that. Because, if you just base it on my Dear Snarky letters, you're thinking no wedding goes off without a hitch. But she did say, and I'm like, oh, hell no, that there was a member of the bridal party that went on and on. Like, was a quiet person, like never really spoke, but then he decided during the wedding he was going to give a toast that lasted like 10 minutes, and it was all about, witnessing to the Lord. Y'all, I need to do another public service announcement. And I should get thank you notes from brides and wedding planners everywhere. And it is that the toast should be very short. And that is not the time to bring in your personal religion, religious experience, any kind of spiritual experience at the wedding. No one needs you to witness. I'm just going to say that right now. Unless the bride and the groom said, we would like you to witness in your toast. And then do that. But I'm just like, oh my God. And I've gotten a couple letters where this has happened, where some member of the family gets up and decides to just go off on something that is not related to the couple. Remember, it's not about you. It's about the couple. Then, hold on. Like, my nose is itchy. Then I've recently been contacted by my friend, the wedding planner. This is juicy as hell, at least to me. I will talk more about this on social media. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and of course YouTube. That, before, like, they would have a small, like, people would choose to have a small wedding, but a big reception. So people would not be invited to the wedding. They would be invited to the reception. Maybe the church was small. I don't know, 105 reasons, okay? That, I have been just invited to the reception, and I'm like, oh, thank God. What a gift. But other people have gotten mad. Why? I'm not going to go if I'm not invited to the wedding. Like, the best part is seeing them, take their vows, which you are 100% right. It is wonderful. But sometimes just going to the reception is even better, especially if you got to drive to the reception. If the wedding and reception are the same place, that's kind of dumb. But if you have to drive, like from one part of town to another, like the wedding's in one part of town, the reception's in the other, man, if I can just be invited to the reception, I'm a happy camper. Well, she told me now it's a reverse, where they're having big weddings, so everyone comes into the church to see, the wedding ceremony. But small receptions, oh my God, to save money, because weddings are so freaking expensive. So they're going to invite a bunch of people. She says, they'll invite their parents' friends, all these people they don't really know. Sure, come into the big old church, pack it to the rooftop, the balcony of the church. Come to our wedding ceremony. But sweetheart, don't come to the reception. I cannot freaking imagine being at a wedding and then people are going to the reception. You're like, oh, where are they going? Reception. And you're like, wait, I didn't get invited to the reception. Or you may think, oh, do you need an invite to a reception? I mean, I'd be following those people. So I don't even know how they're wording the wedding invitations. That your reception would have to be like maybe 2 hours later and at a different place, because people that were just invited to the wedding would need to see everyone leaving. I don't know. I think that's odd. It's one way to get around spending money. But here's the deal with your wedding. Have the wedding you can afford. Do not go in debt for a wedding. If you want to go in a wee bit of debt, I guess that's fine. But have the wedding you can afford. And if your parents aren't paying for it, and your parents want every friend they've ever met, your mom's bunko, your dad's golf tournament people, your mom's Pilates class, then they can pay for your wedding. They can pay for those guests. That's how you get out of having a huge wedding. Anyways, that's my thought on that. I don't know, sneaky, right? Do you think it's sneaky? Because the reception's fun. So that's why I'm like, oh, no wedding, that's okay. To flip-flop it? I don't know. What do you think? It needs to be discussed. Okay, now, people, another sip of my Diet Coke. And if you want to know how my day's going, as soon as I finish this one and finish the podcast and get it all loaded up, I'm getting another one. Okay, here is the confession from the Snarky Confessional. All right. You know how back in the day when all the stores were open, like on Thanksgiving, like Target opened at like 2 p.m. and all this kind of stuff. It was the like Black Thursday shopping, like Thanksgiving, Black Friday starts early. I freaking love that. I loved it for a variety of reasons. One, you could escape your relatives. Oh no, we're going to hit up Kohl's. I got some Kohl cash. You'd get out of there. Did I buy anything? No, it was fun. But But people would complain about how horrible it is that people have to leave their families and work on Thanksgiving, and the people that like these retail establishments are devils making, their employees come in. Because we all understand your hospital employees, your law enforcement, they always have to work on Thanksgiving, whatever. So I would say, and then get like really like bad looks. And then I wrote about this for my local newspaper, and people hated on me. And what else is new? Seriously, if people are not hating on me, I'm like, what's wrong? People need to be hating on me, because it's been so many years that people have hated on me. I just wear it as like a little blanket, like all's right with the world because people are hating on me. So I wrote this whole column about it. I kind of outed myself, which was bad. But y'all, okay, so as you know, when I was younger, I worked in the television news business. And before my husband and I had kids, which was many, many years, I got married at 23, did not have a baby till 35. So we were childless for many years by choice. I just thought, I'm going to be a late in life mother because I want to have AMA in my chart, advanced maternal age, and be called geriatric. That's fun. So anyways, but I have two beautiful, healthy, amazing children. So, who cares that I waited? Whatever. Now it's like, what's 35? But back in 1995, when I got pregnant, had my son in 96, it was a big deal. I was old, grandma old. Oh my God, before I go off on this tangent, and I'll probably forget what this confession is, so it's going to take me a while. In Texas, where I was a young mother, where I had young kids, I wasn't a young mother, twice at the H-E-B, which is this huge grocery store, okay? If you shop in Texas, you're shopping at an H-E-B, people. So I was called grandma to my kids. You're shopping, you got kids in the cart, and you're in line, and somebody goes, "Oh, that's cute. Is that your granddaughter?" Oh my God. Oh my God. And I was like, how effing bad do I look that someone thinks I'm the grandma? So of course, I would like go home and complain to my husband and then immediately call my mother. People think I'm Isabella's grandma. And she's like, well, you have to remember, it's Texas. People have their kids really young. Technically, you could be a grandma. And I'm like, Mom, thank you for not giving me the advice, the encouragement, and the solace that I required from you. And she's like, I'm just doing math, Sherry. It's just math. So, yeah, that was terrifying. Okay, moving back on to my confession. So, I'm at the TV station. People with kids don't want to work on Thanksgiving or Christmas for that matter. And I'm like, I worked. I worked Thanksgiving. I worked Christmas. I worked because I found, and my husband thought it was a delight. We lived about 2 hours away from our family at that time. This all happened in Austin. Parents lived in Waco. My husband thought it was great. I'm like, oh, we cannot come to Thanksgiving because Sherry has to work. Yeah, we had some of our best Thanksgivings because let me tell you, with both our parents in Waco, Texas, it was the ping pong. My husband's family ate Thanksgiving dinner at 11 a.m. That was their family tradition, 11 a.m. That is disgusting. I want to tell you, you don't need that big, heavy meal in your gullet at 11 a.m. And then my parents ate like at 7. Like it was going to be at 7, but probably 7:30. Yeah, so it was gross. I didn't like ping-ponging back and forth. So it was just, I just enjoyed the work, people. I just enjoyed the work. On Christmas, I would do the morning, like early morning news, which was nothing, just a bunch of Santa Claus stories. Then we'd get in the car and we'd drive for Christmas, the 2 hours. But you didn't have that Christmas Eve mess. Yeah, it was freaking genius on my part because it's a lot when you're young. And if you have an excuse, I think you should use it. Plus, people with kids, I should work. Although not if I choose to, I should. I should not be expected because I don't have children that I should work. But I'm like, yeah, I'm working. It was great. It was hardly any news. You just ate a lot, like at the station. They'd feed you and all this kind of stuff. And it was great. So I'm encouraging anyone, if you want to work the holidays, great shift. Great shift. So finally, my mom, because she is not a dum-dum, she's like, you're working to like avoid us. And I'm like, no, I'm working to avoid my in-laws. And she's like, oh, well, when you say it like that, who can blame you? I'm like, yeah, who can blame me? And because I just feel like bagging on my husband's side of the family a little bit more, which is unkind of me and so not fair. And trust me, I could bag on my family too. Not my parents. Saints. So, yeah, my mother-in-law, and she's still alive, so I feel bad saying this, but I've already wrote about it in the paper. She makes her stuffing with hard-boiled eggs. Like, what is that? I don't get that. And when I shared that, people go, oh, that's like people do that. I'm like, no, I don't get the hard-boiled egg. It's just weird when you grow up and you have to go to somebody else's house for Thanksgiving. You're like, what is this? What is this? What is this hard-boiled egg stuff in my stuffing? Then, continuing the bagging on, I don't know what came over me. What's happening? Okay, so one time, my son was a baby. It's Thanksgiving. And I don't know, we were doing a bunch of stuff. I was, packing up stuff, whatever. We were 7 minutes late arriving to my in-laws' house, 11:07. They'd already started dinner because they have a firm 11 o'clock start time. Oh my God. I'm just like, are you serious? Like you couldn't wait for me, your only daughter-in-law, because the other people got divorced so fast, I'm like, and your precious grandson to get here? Yeah, I had to just start stuffing food in your mouth. I was very upset by that. Very upset. I mean, I just went like, figures. And then couldn't wait to tell my mom because she would go off. Oh my goodness. So, yeah, that's my confession. I used working holidays, Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day to avoid certain aspects of family togetherness. And I've never regretted it. And my husband also had zero problems with it. He'd be like, are you working? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, yes. So that's horrible, right? But this is a lesson for all your families out there. If you want people to come home for Thanksgiving and enjoy it, don't be jerks. Plus, there's always so much drama. Let me bag on my family now. So it's equal opportunity. What is wrong with me? It's like is there truth serum in this Diet Coke? I just took another sip. Continuing on. One Thanksgiving, hand to God, my husband was there as an eyewitness. We're sitting at this table, this beautiful Thanksgiving table. Gorgeous. Amazing food. Okay, because my mom, like I said, saint. Out of the blue, we're just sitting there enjoying some great mashed potatoes and everything. Out of the blue, I have a family member who announces, just out of the blue, yeah, I just thought you all should know that, I've tried cocaine and I kind of like it. No. We're just like, what? What? Pardon? My dad started choking. I thought he was going to have to Heimlich. Yeah. So equal shade at both families. Yeah. Could not believe it. That person who said that, they were just being an idiot, okay? They had no problem. I think they just wanted to drop a bomb, just a huge bomb on Thanksgiving. I don't even think that what they said was true. I 100% don't think that. I just think they were just dicks and wanted to be like a jerk at Thanksgiving. So, to my parents' credit, my dad, after and turkey bone, said pass the mashed potatoes. Didn't even acknowledge it, kept on eating, but it was weird. And then me, because I'm the baby, the youngest, always trying to smooth things over, juggling, trying to be funny, you know what I mean? Started talking about random stuff a mile a minute. My husband finally had to put his hand on my thigh. Calm down. It was bad. So that's why when opportunities arose to work the holidays, I was like, me, I'll do it. Plus, even though you're on salary, you got bonuses for doing that. So who can use the extra money? This girl could. All right, y'all, that was horrible. I'm going to listen back to this podcast, and I don't know if you'll ever hear it. I think I went off. We had the letter. That was scary. And then we talked about death threats, which weren't meant in that way. And then I shared very personal details about my husband's side of the family. And then through my family, under the bus sharing stuff. I don't know. This is a podcast you may never hear. I'm going to be listening and go, should I share it? I do not know. All right, but if in case I do share it, y'all, I'm doing my big Thanksgiving special. It's going to be out Monday. So I'm going to do it Monday morning. You can listen to it if you're driving, whatever. I'm going to try to keep it clean. So if you got kids in the car, you can listen to it. So by clean, I don't mean I swear a lot, but we don't want children to hear bad words. Let's be better people. And by that, I mean me, I need to be better. So we're going to go over like my favorite Thanksgiving Dear Snarky letters, Thanksgiving confession. You're like, girl, do you have any more Thanksgiving confessions left? Well, yes, I do. Thank you. I do. And it's going to be a load of fun. So be sure to listen to that, share it with people, talk me up at Thanksgiving. Let's get more people listening. And y'all, let's talk about my books. I'm stuck on 4 Seasons of Snarky because if you like what I just told you, you got to buy 4 Seasons of Snarky. It's full of short stories. It's classified as fiction to protect the guilty, honestly. So check it out. 5 books, read them all. And the people that have read my books and have told me, y'all, you're the best. Thank you so much. In the show description, there's a link. Click the link, takes you to all the books, audiobook, ebook, paperback. Go do it. You'll have fun. Who doesn't like to listen to a book when you're like doing chores or walking the dog and stuff? I like to listen always to a book when I'm driving because I don't like to be alone with my thoughts. It scares me. Like when I swim laps. It's just me and my brain. It's frightening. I'm like, brain, stop. It's so, I need the distraction to just slow it all down in there. Anyways, I'm wrapped up. What's in this Diet Coke? So that's all I got. Little hyper today. So read my books, buy my books, find it in the show description. Tune in for the Thanksgiving special. Tune in. I sound like I'm 64. Oh, wait, I am. Do all that. Know that I love you so much. Thank you for listening. Don't know if this will make it onto your podcast feed, but maybe I'll just throw caution to the wind and go for it. Have a fabulous day because you are indeed, like I always like to tell you, because I don't think we hear it enough, you're fabulous. Yes. Yes, you are.